All right, we are the snot break of the FM dial, audience of one, Wednesday, 10 a.m., right here on Conroe's KZCC 106.1 and 104.5. Of course, you can find us also live streaming on irlonestar.com and on just about every popular podcasting platform out there, including iHeartRadio now. I am your host, Andrew, and sitting next to me is the man who just yesterday invited me to throw a chicken into a sinkhole, Dick Schisler.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea. I mean, what else are you going to do at a sinkhole?
I mean...
And I would imagine where sinkholes are present, there's probably free-range chickens, too. If I had to guess.
Yeah.
But you invited me. I didn't go. Probably should have.
Well, it's a new pastime now. Just throwing stuff in the sinkhole.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's enough of them around.
Yeah. We threw a car in there.
Oh, man. Do you know what today is?
It is... Sunday?
Okay. You're such a man. You don't even remember. It's actually our 2-month anniversary.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's our 2-month anniversary.
If I have to deal with this right now.
Well, we did go out and celebrate yesterday.
That's true. I'm celebrating right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We had our 2-month anniversary. Dick took me out on a date. You're such a gentleman. I have to admit, opening car doors for me, whatnot. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but we went out and played golf yesterday. That was fun. A whole day to celebrate 2 months. Will we make it 2 more?
I don't know. We did ride in the cart together.
We did.
And
we
we survived that.
Yeah.
We survived that.
I tried to take corners really fast to the right and knock you out. You are quick with grabbing onto that bar. I could not knock you out. I tried. And I was the guy who waits till you're going to take a sip of beer, and then I give it the gas real fast just to watch it.
So were you really doing that on purpose?
No, man. I did do that a few times, but I didn't do it on purpose.
Because there was a couple times I was like, is this guy really doing this? Or every time I'm trying to, I thought you were doing it on purpose.
No, one time, though, I literally did look over, and I saw that you were finishing and then gave it the gas. I saw you still kind of do one of those motions. But, no, the first 8 times was on accident.
Yeah.
I'm
because
sorry.
it got to that point where I was like, well, this guy's just messing with me the whole time.
Yeah, man. I mean, golf carts, they're crazy. And the golf cart, you drove it a few times. You give it the gas and it didn't want to do anything. You give it a little bit more and didn't want to do anything. So then you give it you floor it, and then all of a sudden you're thrown backwards with G-forces. It's crazy.
Well, my favorite part of the whole day was we learned that the parking brake didn't work.
Yeah, they rolled away.
So next thing, I kid you not, we're sitting there. It's like on hole 2. And Andrew gets out of the cart, and there goes the cart. And he's like, oh! He's like, he literally did the cart.
I think it was actually hole 1, and it was on our approach shot. It was on a hill, and I
got
it.
I had to run after the cart, and I jumped in.
And it's not like there was water in front of it, because there was.
Yeah.
Man, that sucker would have gone into the lake.
It was pretty funny. And then we would learn that the parking brake just didn't work, and we knew that's how the day was going to start. That was so funny.
Yeah, it was funny, man. But, happy 2-month anniversary. I love you, Dick.
I love you, too.
Okay, it's getting awkward.
Sorry. Here's to us.
Yeah, so that's funny. What are you holding there in your hand?
Not piss.
No, it does kind of look that way. No, this actually is an alcoholic beer beverage, I believe.
It is.
Yes. And I believe this is from...
Can we do that on a Sunday?
Yeah, it's after 11, so it's okay. I just made that up right now. But in case you're wondering why we have
really good.
Yeah, why we have beer in small glasses, we actually have a guest in studio today, Matthew Black from Ingenious Brewing, correct?
Yeah.
Excellent. Is this mic hot?
I got it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in,
I was trying
man.
to do the camera.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So we actually met you, Matt, right before we started this show. We were in Red Bricks.
Is that why you brought up the 2-month anniversary? Because you're in...
No, I brought it.
Matt at the first.
No, I mean I brought it up because it's our 2-month anniversary.
Okay.
That's just it. No, we actually met you at Red Bricks when we were discussing the concept for the show. We hadn't even actually done our first show yet. You came in. It was like, hey, you want to be a guest on our newfound radio show, and you were kind enough to agree. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here for sure.
So
Absolutely.
Ingenious Brewing Company. So to let people a little backstory is the Red Brick Tavern does like a tap takeover.
Yeah, it's like it's a sponsored event that they usually do.
And then basically they get their tap room or their beer taps, and they get like a brewery or whatever takes over like all of it.
Yeah.
And you guys were there doing that.
Yeah, so usually they'll pull on I want to say they have about 10 or 12 taps. They'll usually pull on anywhere between 4 and 6 beers and just feature us for that whole day. And then the brewery will usually come out in the evening time and pass out like pint glasses, stickers, koozies, all that kind of stuff, and just
swag.
Yeah, just get their name out there, I guess, with it, and give the people something fun. You do have to buy a beer usually to get one of the goodies, but that's all in fun. You're going to be drinking anyways, so might as well.
Just so you know, Andrew, that's the only reason Matt talked to us, because we bought their beer.
Hey, whatever it takes, We ended up getting a nice, awesome guest out of the deal. It was well worth it, in my opinion.
Fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
It is fair.
It gets me this nice beer.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Ingenious. Where are you guys located at? History. How long have you guys been brewing beer out there?
Yeah, so we're in Humble, right by the Humble Civic Center, actually.
Silent H Humble.
Yeah, don't say humble.
I learned that when I moved into this area. It is not humble.
People will correct you.
Humble, yeah.
Yeah, people will correct you real fast if you say humble. But we've been open for about 5 years now. We actually just celebrated our 5-year anniversary a few weeks ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, and our brewery's just kind of founded on pushing the boundaries with what is a beer, basically. Both of our owners have degrees in science, and they just really get crazy with what they make. We make some, simple and
those people are so annoying.
Annoying? No, those are the guys that brew the best beer. What are you talking about?
It's like yesterday.
Maybe outside of a beer brewing context, you mean?
Well, like yesterday we're golfing, and these guys were literally measuring the grass. And I'm like, just hit the ball.
We weren't measuring the grass, Dick. We were making comments on the height and the direction of the grass. But we were not measuring. I will attest to that.
See, detail people are just annoying, man.
Well, I think detail people are great to have when it comes to beer. So that's interesting that you say that. So you said they're got scientists, essentially.
Yeah.
I think probably just about everybody had that friend in college that brewed beer, and he put it in a trash can or whatever, and when it was finally ready, he'd have people come over and we'd have this beer tasting party, and I got to tell you, the beer was absolutely wretched, right? And so I think there is a certain amount of science and knowledge that goes into this, because you can't just do this and expect it to taste good.
Yeah, I mean, he started out as a home brewer. One of our owners, his name is Mike. The other one's Justin. Mike started out as a home brewer, and he was home brewing for 10 years and won multiple awards, home brewing awards. So he wasn't just some random guy in his basement or garage just
he was
cooking up. I mean, originally, yes.
At some point he was.
But eventually he just eventually he got that steam going.
So hold on, there are awards for home brewers, and I'm sure there are rules in order to be officially categorized as a home brewer.
Yeah.
And that just means you have to do it within the confines of your house, and you don't have distribution or anything. Is that what that is?
I'd assume so. I don't really know a lot of the details
cool.
on it.
That seems like a really neat thing.
I mean, I've homebrewed before. There's a lot of people that have and try it. And
you can buy kits and stuff like that. But to be really good, you probably have to branch off yourself and start a lot of trial and error, right?
Yeah. It's brewers even today, like now in the brewery, it sometimes it becomes trial and error. We'll try something, it won't work, and then we'll move on and know that not to try it again. And that's just what making beer is about. Sometimes you get a miss, but a lot of times after you get it going, you get a lot of wins.
That's gotta be a fun moment. You're like, oh, I worked on this
so hard, yeah.
I crafted, and you're like, here's you. You're like,
first sip. Whoa! What happened?
Hey,
this is terrible.
We always say worst case scenario, you get water with alcohol in it. So.
Okay. So when you have an idea for a new beer, like say you're sitting around, I don't know, on a radio station somewhere in Conroe.
We were talking about this.
Yeah, you have a new idea for a beer. How long from that idea, from inception to sort of the first taste, generally is that?
Takes a while, actually. A lot of beers will take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, depending on the beer, to brew. Some actually are a little quicker, but generally, like some of the lagers, like this Mosaic Pilsner you guys are drinking. I was going to ask you what I
was drinking there.
Yeah, so it's a Pilsner hopped with Mosaic hops. And, hops grow on vines. It's an amazing plant for beer. It's a key component in making beer. And... Sorry, we were talking about what were we talking about before?
Home brewing.
I kind of lost it. The beer's
yeah, we've been here 8 minutes already. Good grief.
He wanted
it's
to
good
know,
stuff, guys. Really
basically,
good stuff.
Start to finish. How long does that process take?
Oh yeah, so it can take a few months. I mean, you got to get the labels made for the beer. You got to send over to the artist an idea for the label. The beer itself, once we know what we're going to make, that part's pretty easy. We just get all the ingredients we need, get it in the tank, and get it brewing.
So, like, I have an idea for a beef Wellington beer. I'm like, that sounds like great.
That sounds terrible.
We're talking about, what, 6 weeks from time you have the idea to the time you can first taste it. And at that point, you really don't know if it's going to be anything.
You should work for Martin House if you want to make a beef Wellington beer.
Do they really have one? I just literally made that up off the top of my head.
They have made a beer with hot sauce, pizza, hot dog water seltzers. They're very...
Oh, hot dog water seltzers?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, they're probably one of the weirdest breweries out there.
Is that the one in Keller?
They are in Fort Worth.
Yeah, Keller. Yeah.
Is it Keller to be specific?
Yeah, I used to live in that area.
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
God.
just north of Fort Worth.
Yeah, if you want to try pizza and a beer,
Detail people
go
are
there.
annoying. I told you.
No, I used to live. I used to live like 5 minutes from Martin House. That's why I know. And I just wanted to make sure it was the same one.
So you're
Yeah,
drinking
those
hot
guys are
dog
crazy.
water.
No, I never tried it. I did hear about hot dog water.
That's
though.
funny.
Yeah,
That's gross.
I think it's just they do it. A lot of these ones that they do is for for clout, for steam, for people to kind
marketing,
of see.
just to get your name out. That's not a bad idea.
Oh, hot dog water beer. Interesting.
Yeah.
Like I might have to try that once and
Never.
and then never again, just to tell people that you did it. Yeah, it's crazy. So do you guys have distribution? Are you out in grocery stores and things like that? Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually do all of our sales and distribution for the north side of Houston for our brewery. We're in all HEBs, Total Wines.
Really?
Yeah. We're not into HEB has two different parts when you walk into the beer section. So you see a cooler full of beer, and then you see beer on the shelves and the walls. And usually the beer that's on the shelves and on the end caps and displays, not all the time, but a lot of times it's local craft beer. And what's nice about that is, HEB is a huge supporter of us. They're probably one of our biggest customers just because they support, pretty much all the local small breweries. HEB carries us to, and then a lot of local bars and restaurants as well. It really depends on the place. Some places will stick with, one distributor and get all the beer from them. But there are some places out there like Red Brick, and to be specific, that will carry multiple small local breweries at a time.
Mm-hmm. So, with that in mind, when you're doing the brewery, what's next? Because now it's almost like, because I never really understood the whole brewing concept as an in game. Because you just you keep making different things. It's like you're never shooting for we just need to make a Bud Light that's so popular that we're just good. We're gonna coast. So what's the brewing in game? Y'all want to move to another spot? Do you guys want to open multiple locations?
So, we kind of have tested in the last year doing what you just had talked about, making one beer all year and trying to push it out and market it and brand it. And it was this beer in particular. And we just found that, over the past couple of years, since we've been open, that's not really our style and platform. We're very much into making a new beer every month and just something really exciting and interesting. For instance, my shirt that I'm wearing right here, this is one of our anniversary beers that we make. It's called Infinity Hopped, and it's a 10% triple IPA with over 10 different hops in it. Whoa. And so we just like to have a lot of fun and make unique stuff, and don't really want to make one of those, beers that is just out there everywhere. Yeah. It's not really our model. But the end game, what we were trying to do and have been trying to do is open a second location, like a tap room downtown.
Yeah, those are popular now.
Yeah.
Most of the breweries have a little place you can come in and sit down and try a beer, or have like a little beer garden. Or
we do have
like
a tap room at our brewery now, but we wanted one that was just a tap room.
Oh, gotcha.
No
separate
brewery.
from the brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like a little
with the cafeteria,
brick and mortar standalone
food
place.
and everything.
We have BE Winery did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's
you
popular.
ever been to the winery, the BE Winery?
No.
Down Fraser?
No, I have not.
They opened up a tap room right here.
All
right. I'm not a wine guy, so I have no idea.
Yeah, he's more into mead.
I'm not.
Mead's great.
I'm into this beer right here.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not piss.
So like when you no, it's not. No, I thought it was at first, but fool you.
Well, we're just letting the audience know if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah. So when you go to work for a brewery, are you sworn to secrecy, all the secrets of the beer, and you have to sign a non-disclosure when you go there, like the secret sauce in McDonald's or something you're not supposed to know? Because my thought is you could work there and be like, yeah, I know how they make that beer. I can make that beer in my sleep, and you go work for a competitor. And
I mean, the brewing, that's kind of what the brewing industry is about, really.
It's a brotherhood instead,
it's really one of those.
I thought you were going to say.
It's really one of those things where we all kind of, have. I mean, there are things that you don't share, right? There are things that, you know, if you're rolling with something, you figured out a new way to make something, and it's very interesting and unique. That's something that, you know, you would just hopefully not go on and share at another place when you went to, you know, just out of respect basically for the brewery. But there's no really like NDA or anything you have to sign for that. There are things that we can't do, like I can't go on a beer rating app and rate a brewery's beer. Just because if we give them like a bad rating and we don't like the beer, like they could come back at us and, you know, be like, hey, like, you know, why are your employees, you know, rating our beers bad? Because there are a couple beer rating apps out there.
What's wrong with
having
bad beer?
Well, we can check in the beer, like say we're drinking this beer here, you know, on the beer rating app.
But you can't say it's terrible.
What's the
what
rating?
if you're like at a pseudonym and they don't know it's you?
I've never even heard of a rating app for beer.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they've got.
It's called Untapped. It's probably
yeah.
one of it's the biggest beer rating app probably in the country.
Really?
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's really
absolutely.
popular.
Andrew, how do you know this?
A coworker of mine was into it, and he was, I don't know, all into the hoppy beers. And so we went to San Diego one time for a work
Detail
trip.
people.
And he whips out this app and he starts rating the beer. And I'm going, what are you talking about? Oh man, it's this Untapped app, and you can go in there and read other ratings from people. And
So
he
it's
was
a bunch of
member.
pretentious people talking about
beer snobs,
like,
man.
because when here's my review of this beer right here.
Yeah, they don't want people like you.
You do get a lot of people on there that are very
not
closely rated. Are you sure?
That's my rating.
I don't know what you did before.
That's
you
my
came.
rating.
3 stars.
Like that glass has been down there for a little while, so hey, I'm not.
This is really good. I know this is really good beer.
Thank you.
Like, and this is the
No, it's excellent. Ingenious beer.
Mosaic
it's great.
Pills.
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
it's really, really good.
Just a light and crispy beer. I've actually moved on to the second one. If you guys want to try
the reason
try this one.
the reason I like this that you gave me is because it is a lager. It's light, but it also has just a
put it
little
right there.
bit
I'll
of
get it.
hops in it, which makes it feel more full-bodied than just a regular kind of Pilsner beer. And I
just
like
get on
that,
the
man.
app and talk about it.
Yeah.
Just get on that app. Just
With
sit there.
With Untapped, the other thing that's really nice is it actually supports small businesses quite a lot. And why I say that is because you know, certain places, I even think Red Brick uses it, but there are multiple places in Houston that use it. And basically what they'll do is it allows them to use it as a digital menu. So you can basically put all your beers on there, and like you can put your place of business on there, and then you can put all the beers that you have.
We're talking
under your
about this
place of
Untapped
business.
thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can put all the businesses you have on your profile on Untapped. All the beers you have under your profile on Untapped, and people can scan a QR code, get on there, look at all the beer you have, rate it, and then it shows on their menu what all the ratings for the beer is and what beers they have. So that way customers would be like, ooh, this beer has a high rating without even using the app, just a printed out menu with all the ratings on it. They might go for that beer because it has a good rating on it. That, and it just shows more details on the menu. It shows where the brewery is, like where it's located, and what the actual true style of beer is, and maybe like what ingredients it has in it as well. So it helps local businesses a
So
lot.
Absolutely.
That's not me at all.
Well,
Do you remember when we went to Red Brick Tavern and I was like, what kind of beers you got? And they were like, this one, Snickerdoodle. I'm like, yeah, let's do that one.
This guy literally
And that was-
is the opposite of beer snob. He was like, I'll drink anything. I don't care.
We like that too.
I don't care.
Sometimes the beer snobs are a little too critical of your beer.
Yeah.
We like
I mean, it
people who
tastes
just
like
want to come drink
Snickerdoodle.
Well, I
beer.
do think it's interesting that a lot of people will make the choice of their beer based off of what the tap looks like, too. So I'm sure there's a whole art and design in going into making the taps, because if it looks kind of cool, I'll give that a try.
Yeah. It's all advertising. You know, you got a huge tap handle with your name splat.
If you have a beer that tastes like Snickerdoodle, I want to, like a cookie, I want to try
Yeah,
it.
I believe I tried that one, and it was, for me, it was good for about one beer. I wouldn't want to sit there and continue drinking because it was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
But some people may like that.
Well,
this is good too. I don't know that you guys make a bad beer, to be honest with you. Double Galaxy.
Yeah, so this is one of our new double hazy IPAs. We do quite a bit of hazy IPAs.
That's piss.
Fruited.
Would you stop with this?
This guy. So we make a lot of hazy IPAs, fruited sours, and then stouts. And we like to put in the sours and stouts different fruit. In the sours, we like to put different fruits in there. And the stouts, we like to get really creative with them. Like we make a beer that's called Imperial King Cake, and it tastes like a king cake you would have.
That sounds really
That
good.
does sound good. Yeah.
Did you bring a cake?
Well, especially as from a few months ago, right? That would have been perfect timing. So maybe next year it'll come out again.
Once
it's
a year.
Seasonal.
That's our model, is once a year with beers. We make every beer once a year just so it builds like steam. You know, people are expecting it for the next year.
Yeah, you're looking forward to it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys have any events planned or anything like that coming up at the brewery? Would you like to plug?
Well,
Yeah.
You said you had a tap room But is
We
it
do.
like a big place?
Yeah, we've got about 40 to 50 seats inside,
Oh,
and then
wow.
outside we've got about 25 seats, and we've got 30 taps. We have food trucks that come out.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
so it's a big deal. Yeah.
Actually, this Saturday we are having a market at the brewery. It's called 420 Mayhem Market, and
So it's
we
about
like to.
dope?
Wink, wink, and nod.
What?
nod.
I'm sorry.
Is it about dope?
No, it's April 20th.
It's April 22nd.
Yeah,
It's
what are you-
422.
what are you talking
Is
about?
that a marijuana thing?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yes,
So we actually have a legal cannabis vending machine at our brewery as well that we do.
That's ingenious.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought it would be unique and fun to have in there just
This place
because
sounds
I was.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
thought it was more wink, wink, nod, nod. You're like, nope, we're being pretty blatant with it.
Yeah.
We got a cannabis dispenser.
we
guys.
do. Yeah. The laws now are,
No one even
allow
knows.
it to happen.
No one even knows.
Yeah.
We had this conversation last night. They're like Delta 9, Delta 20. And I'm like, does anyone even keep track of this? Like,
Yeah,
because I'm allergic, by the way.
okay.
Oh, allergic to weed?
Yeah.
To the flower itself.
Wow.
I don't know.
I've never heard.
I did
of
that
being
Delta
the
8
case.
thing, and I broke out in hives.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost, you know.
Almost had an
And
episode.
let me tell you something that's not fun.
Oh,
Being,
boy.
on Delta 8, the effects of it, and then have the hives.
Yeah.
So I was like,
freaking out.
yeah.
What's happening to my
Paranoia
body?
to the
my,
max.
my hands and feet got all big.
Ugh.
It was
Oh,
nuts.
wow.
My wife was like, "Have you seen yourself in the mirror?" I'm like, "No, what's wrong?" I go there and I look like I have a helmet on, like just red.
God.
And it's just,
Yeah, but
so let's go to Ingenious and let's get some hives.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Come out and get an allergic reaction. Woohoo.
Now you might, but not everybody else, I guess.
Yeah, but we're doing that market this weekend. We're gonna have over
Okay,
30
cool.
vendors there. It's
Nice.
it's gonna be really great. And then also that same day, if you can't make it out to that side of the city, over in Cyprus, I'm gonna be doing an anniversary party for one of my accounts called Brew 30. There's gonna be over 10 different, I think it's 10 or 14 different breweries there. Each brewery is gonna bring 2 beers, and you get like tickets and a glass, and you go around and you can try different beers that they'll have pouring under each tent. So. Those are a lot of fun. I like to do those kind of events as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good, man.
I like beer events.
Yeah, beer
Yeah.
events are fun.
Yeah.
I think it's fun with where you met you at the Red Brick. I think it's fun that they do that because that's to me is unique to downtown Conroe's. Like,
Yes.
that's the only place that really kind of like looks forward to their beer.
Yeah. Well, actually,
The
there's
other places suck.
There's 2 other really good ones up here that I actually do sell beer to. Montgomery County Food Hall, they're really great as well. They support us.
They suck.
We have
Moco. They do
Moco
not.
food, they suck. That's
No,
a
they
snot. That's a
don't.
snot place.
Would you stop?
No, it's really that's what it's called. Moco in Spanish is snot.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not talking. trash.
I remember
It's
I
called
heard
snot.
somebody. I remember somebody telling me that it had a weird in Spanish. It meant something weird, but I never had heard what it was. It's snot.
I'm pretty sure it's snot or sneeze
Interesting.
or something like that. It's like something to do with the nose and green
I was
boogies.
just about to lock up a sponsorship with them. Thanks.
Those guys are nice,
and
though.
Now,
They-
and now you just called them snot. Way to go.
Well, they literally
Well,
call
if it-
them snot every day. Like that, they know they're snot.
that place in
Own it.
particular, they carry a couple beers from us, and they're really great. And then Pacific Yard House as well. They carry us. They have quite a few different beers on from us at any given
I
time.
don't really
so.
like
Awesome,
Pacific
man.
Yard House.
Yeah. Would you stop? These places are great. I don't know what you're talking
Red
about.
Brick's
I'm just
all right.
I'm just gonna sip my beer and.
Yeah.
Well, no, like Pacific Yard House. Every time I go there, I feel like I'm paying gas station prices. Like one day it'll be really expensive, the next day it'll be really cheap. I'm like, what's going on here? Why is a Bud Light or whatever like $5 one day, and the next day it's like $12?
Prices are
Yeah, I was gonna say
things
fluctuating.
are yeah. I mean, we've the economy's hitting us hard as well. Everything that we do has been doubled in price since inflation.
Isn't that scary?
Just
Kind of like how things can go like that, like double in price.
like
Yeah.
our glasses.
It makes it hard to run a business, no doubt. So on our 2nd month anniversary, we have the first slip, and it's not me. We'll have to go and bleep that one out. Our first bleep, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it is the beer.
Well, I'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
People are
Bravo.
now tuning in. I cursed.
Yeah. Oh.
You're not gonna know what it is though.
No. No, we'll never know. Oh man.
But yeah, it's just everything is becoming more expensive and especially for the beer industry. It's we've seen a lot of places shut down and and small businesses as well that supported local craft. So we're just
That's
trying to do
unfortunate.
everything we can.
Well,
I mean,
well,
and
that's why-
it's working. Like we're finding that making all these different beers and doing all these special releases keeps people interested all year long, right?
Sure.
So that's been one thing that's really helped us throughout this is, people are always expecting something new and willing to buy it because it's a different beer, every month or so.
Yeah, because when I asked you that question, like, what's the next step, is I feel like that's the kind of like the gold mine for beer makers is having a cool location and having the dispensary thing and like stuff like that. Like to me, because especially here locally, we have so many different well-known places now.
Yeah,
like people think of Southern Star Brewery, like people love going there. I don't know why, but people love going there.
It's definitely an interesting place over there.
And if Dave's listening, you suck at bowling. So
they actually, my brother works for a barbershop over here in Conroe called Man Basics. It's on 1488, and he goes in there to get his head shaved every week and brings him beer for the haircut. And every time I go in there, I'll have one of their beers over there. Dave's a good guy.
Awesome. Well, Matt, we appreciate you coming in. We're going to take a break. This is about the time of the show where we take a break. We've got some crazy stories coming up in the second half. You're welcome to stay, but if you've got a jet, I understand. Matthew Black from Ingenious Brewery. You're going to go and check them out. They're in Humble.
There you go.
Silent H, Humble. So we got some crazy stories about cocaine hippos, Dalai Lama making news, all kinds of stuff. Stay tuned, guys.
You are listening to Audience of One with Andrew and Dick, right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5. Also available worldwide on YouTube, Facebook, and Apple Podcasts.
All right. We are back. Matthew has elected to stay with us for the rest of the show as we get into some of our craziness. Dick, I feel like there has been so much crazy news going on. Right after we ended the show last week, wouldn't you know, breaking crazy news, and I wanted to talk about it, but we had to wait a whole week. So at this point, probably everybody has already heard about the Dalai Lama. What the heck, man? What's going on with that guy?
well, he's wrong.
Okay, so in case you haven't heard, the Dalai Lama did make news.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Are you serious?
I was just saying in general that whole Tibet people, they just need to go.
Hold on. Are you not aware of what happened?
Right? They need to be eradicated. Right? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that
like
was
the
an
genocide kind of thing.
No, that was an off-air conversation you were having with yourself, apparently.
Well, don't people hate Dalai Lama? Like he can't even go home or something like that.
What are you even talking about?
Is it the? Wait, does the Dalai Lama have anything to do with Tibet?
Yes, he's a Tibetan, he's a Buddhist spiritual leader.
But
for Tibet, yeah.
Tibet is under control of China, right? And they don't let.
All right, you're talking way over my head.
Am I right? Am I right about this?
Look, all I know.
Have you ever seen 7 Years in Tibet with Brad Pitt? There was like a whole conflict about they can't be their people because the China doesn't want them to be their people.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot.
Is that right?
Strife.
Am I wrong about this?
I mean, I'm sure China's got their hands all over them. I don't know enough about it to
because I thought
really
the whole idea was
comment.
Yeah. Well, no, I thought the whole funny thing about the Dalai Lama is he literally can't go back home. Because he's the leader of this organization,
right.
And that organization, they can't even be at their house.
Crazy.
Because of China, right? Am I wrong about this?
No, I'm not gonna. I don't know, so I can't argue.
Yeah, and that was the kind of thing. Like the Dalai Lama can never go home.
No, what I'm bringing up is the fact that he asked some young kid.
We're gonna pause the show.
He asked some kid to suck his tongue last week.
Yeah,
that's hot.
Yeah, it would be hot if it wasn't the Dalai Lama and an 8-year-old boy.
You go to that
perhaps.
swingers club.
I mean, look at that like bonding they're about to have.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
I guess it is.
Wait, is that the kid? I want to pull this up for people to look.
I
this
guess
is the
this
moment he
is-
goes, "Suck my tongue."
Yes.
Yeah, or right before. So it is fairly normal for the Dalai Lama to meet and greet with children and for them to give him a peck on the forehead or the
Yes.
cheek. That's pretty common.
Yes.
But the 87-year-old Dalai Lama, I guess this kid was his type or something, and he decided to ask him something that was a little inappropriate in my opinion.
Ooh.
And after he said forehead, cheek, he stuck his tongue out and he said, "Now suck my tongue."
No, he didn't. I don't.
Oh,
believe
he
it.
did.
Video.
I've seen it. He asked him
Oh, he
to
did.
suck his
And
tongue.
the little child.
But he put his tongue out.
He
He
did.
put his tongue out and asked the child to suck his tongue.
Yeah. And the child
Yeah.
gave him quick peck.
on like a live
On his
like
tongue?
Yes, I mean, I feel
Yes.
really bad for this
yeah.
kid.
It wasn't like either just like a little kiss on the. He said, "Suck my tongue."
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
and my thought is there's a
hot.
big huge double standard here because if any other 87-year-old man had done this, I'm thinking there's some heat coming down on this
Yeah.
guy, right? We're looking to, but because it's the Dalai Lama, they're like, oh, it's just the Dalai Lama.
It makes you wonder too, like what
check-
haven't we seen? You know, I mean, there's a like
Well, first
That's
thing
an
first thing
excellent
you
point.
should do is check the flight logs of Epstein Island and see if Dalai Lama's
Lama's
on
been
that.
on there?
you're not wrong. I mean, you're
That's the first
you're
thing
not
you do.
wrong.
No, but it got me thinking like
This
you know,
isn't like a translation thing.
well, so it is culturally different that they do give
They
pecks
suck
and
each other's
kiss,
tongues?
but the tongue.
I've
that's,
never seen-
That's,
But did he
Yeah.
did he literally go in English, suck my tongue,
yes.
or was it like a,
in English? He says, "Suck my tongue," just like that.
I
And
love
he
it.
I've got a really good
stuck his
Dalai
tongue
Lama.
out and everything, and then the kid did it.
Yeah,
you know?
he gave him a little peck. I mean, you could tell the child was really, really uncomfortable with it.
Like
Yeah.
how Matt's like, and he did it.
And
he did it. He
freaking
went
did
for
it.
it.
So, I mean, I'm sure there are, the forehead and the cheek are probably, although we find it weird, is probably culturally okay. That would probably be green light. But okay, let's think of like what body parts would be okay if you're an 87-year-old Dalai Lama asking. Like if he said, "Kiss my finger."
Well, that's what they do with the Pope.
Well, no. Well, I mean, he didn't say kiss. He said suck.
Okay,
so
okay.
imagine if he said suck my finger.
suck
right?
my
That's
finger.
weird.
Right.
That's weird. Like,
It is. So how about if he says, "Suck my toe"?
even weirder.
Okay,
You got to
but-
take your old shoe off and everything.
I think
Like
the-
that's commitment. Like
the
that's
toe
weird.
thing is not as weird as the finger. Finger thing is
I don't know, man. But
One's,
that's like
one's grosser than the other. Just in like.
So I'm
you
going
know,
like
true, but
Yeah.
it's like you could almost argue one's a kink, and then the other one's like that's too sexual.
yeah. If we're going like green light, yellow light, red light, I'm thinking forehead and cheeks, green light. Fingers and toes, that's yellow light.
Well, maybe like the palm, like the back of the hand, though.
That-
you
yeah,
know,
okay.
See,
like-
Matt makes a
Okay.
good point though. Regardless of what it is, you just don't say suck.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Like there's no good suck.
I don't even know
Well-
if kiss my tongue is because like how do you like without
Why would you
putting-
want someone to kiss your tongue?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah. So then you start getting into red light things, and I think I would start with tongue. That's a red light. You don't go and suck or kiss the tongue or ask a child to do
especially
that.
on
I'm
the
sorry.
child.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
So do you think he just like had a brain fart, or do you think this is what
I
he's
think
into?
I think he might be facing some dementia. To be honest with you, I don't
could.
think he has a history of any pedophilic behavior as
I know,
far
he
as I
says
know.
that-
So as we know,
no,
right?
that's-
Because there's only so much that we see. Like I mean,
Yeah,
you
you brought
really
that point up
you
earlier.
really
That's good.
don't.
well, honestly,
don't
we see
truly
too
know.
much. 'Cause I
Yes.
don't want to know this.
Yeah, it's
Like-
crazy, right?
Yeah.
Keep your sucking behind doors.
Well, do you
That's what I say, right?
do you think he's going? Yeah, you tell me that every day. Like he'll just send me random texts. Keep your sucking behind doors.
Keep your sucking behind doors. Got
Like,
it.
all right, okay, I got it, Nick. You've told me that 3 times today. I get it. Well, do you think he's going to face any punishment
No.
for this?
No.
mean,
I don't think so
did
either.
he abuse the kid?
Well, he I mean, he apologized already, right?
Yeah,
so
but-
he issued a formal apology, which is basically
Oh,
just
nothing
all
to
this.
see here.
yeah,
Move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Move on.
Exactly.
Well, because
Yeah,
like
no
I could-
consequences,
see,
I bet.
honestly, I could see myself saying something inappropriate.
No
And-
way, not you.
But it's like, but you don't really think of it until afterwards. Like, oh yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. But I don't think I'd ever be like, suck my tongue, kid.
Yeah, man, that's not a thought that
That's
comes
like
to
a
mind
Christian-
for
If
me.
you don't have second thoughts in the moment on that, there's something
Yeah.
wrong with you.
Yeah, it's weird. I just can't because when you sent this article, I was like, this isn't real. Like the Dalai Lama did not do this.
Yeah,
they
man.
deserve.
I mean,
genocide.
there are arguments they are from another part of the world. Their traditions are different.
Well,
than
that's what I was
ours, and,
thinking. I was going
you
through
know,
that.
but it's still. I mean, that just should be a common social thing.
Unless
I
there
mean,
had been
unfortunately,
thousands of years of history of
yeah.
Dalai Lamas having children suck on their tongue, I'd agree.
Unfortunately,
but
a lot of these,
Out of
not
the
all
blue,
of them, but some of these countries, like
Are weird.
yeah, it's just weird. They have weird, things
Oh,
that
I
go
get
on.
it.
There's a lot of child sex trafficking and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff that's involved in a lot of foreign countries, and they're not able to, they're aware of it, but they're not as they don't want to jump on it as much and get it out as we do, and stop.
Well,
it.
they're all diddling kids.
let's hope not.
Have you
Very
seen the video of the
unfortunate.
Pope with speaking of diddling kids, the Pope with the kissing the ring? Have you seen this?
I mean, I'm sure I've seen something.
You
on it.
know, like it's tradition.
Yeah.
Kids, you kiss the
Yeah.
Pope's ring. Well, this Pope is, Mr. Like I don't like this golden chair give me a different chair because we don't want to show off our wealth. So now he doesn't let people kiss. So it's a really funny video of him. He does the motion of the hand and then takes it away for every single person.
Wow.
And because he doesn't want to, because he thinks it's demeaning. It's demeaning to people to kiss the ring.
Then just
know?
end the tradition
Well,
altogether.
no, that's what I'm saying. Because no,
You wanna kiss? You wanna
no,
kiss?
no,
Nope, nope, nope.
People are trying to kiss it though. Like so, people come in there in line like, I gotta kiss this ring because that's what the Catholics do. And then it's like it's so funny because he's like, whoa, hey, hey.
Like, I don't want you kissing my face.
but people, you know, how they line up. So it's people after people trying to kiss. He's like, no, don't kiss my ring. Just stop kissing my. Come on, guys, come on. It's really funny. I encourage
That is
everyone to
funny.
look it up
That's
because
funny.
it looks like someone's playing a game, and they're both not wanting to play the same game. And I feel like if I was like the security guard behind him, I'd be cracking up the whole time.
Yeah.
Because everyone coming up is going to try to kiss it, and he's like, no, we're not that. We're trying to change the way we think about things. Like we don't need to kiss things. We don't need to. I thought it was a COVID thing, but it's not. It's like no, he doesn't want people to demean themselves. Because he feels like that tradition is demeaning.
Well, I don't think the Dalai Lama is going to face any ramifications or repercussions from this. Much like this next story I have of this 19-year-old Brazilian girl, who is definitely going to get in trouble, and she's going to get in trouble in a very, very weird way. I don't know if you saw this or not, but apparently there's a Brazilian traveler, and she's facing the possibility of a death sentence in Bali.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where's Bali?
After somewhere
It's like
on
South America.
You're asking me geography questions.
I thought you were a detail person.
No, you assume I'm a detail person.
Okay.
Now, she's facing the possibility of a death sentence after they found 6.5 pounds of cocaine in her luggage.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's a lot. But her punishment is firing squad.
Well, that's not that big of a deal.
Dude, I didn't know that was
crazy, outdated way to get put down.
right. I didn't know that was
think
still
there
a
was-
thing.
I think
Oh yeah, I think Russia still does it too.
No, I think there's literally a state in the United States that just passed. You're allowed to do that. You can option.
Really?
Yeah.
Here in the United States.
One of the 50
That's
states. I could look it up right now, but I don't want to interrupt. The show. But I'm
mean,
pretty sure I
that's-
read that it's an option for a person who's on death row. It's like because they can kind of select.
Wow.
And
I mean, I guess it's a quicker way to go. I mean, in a way, like lethal injection, you're just kind of sitting there waiting, and then you slowly go out. But like firing squad, you're just
Boom,
dead.
yeah.
no,
I would agree.
What gets me on this is like why all the talk? Like if you're sentenced to death, boom, same day.
Well, that's because here in the United States we have a whole.
I know, but
Well,
legal-
I mean, hey, there's a lot of things though. Like sometimes you can be proven innocent before you're
I don't
there,
care.
and like
I don't care. I made the decision.
Or what if you're
Like, let's
what
go
if you're-
old school.
What if you're innocent?
Like,
though?
think about the medieval times. They didn't sit there like, oh, we got to figure this out for the next 4 years. It's like, no, we found you guilty. Your head's gone.
yeah, there's a lot of things though in the medieval times that we'd look back on now today and be like,
Oh no, I don't think to me that I'm saying if we're already committing to killing somebody,
yeah.
why prolong it? And like, why even talk about it? Like, you don't have to make an announcement. Just like, oh, you're guilty. See you later. And
You're guilty right there. Boom, dead. All right.
Yeah.
No,
next.
I don't know. I think there's-
next. Like,
yeah, there's
I think that's part of the great thing about living in the United States, where you do have the actual
no.
chance
Oh,
of representing
freedoms,
yourself.
well, I think this was more of an issue probably when DNA testing was coming out too, because then there was time like people were on death row waiting to be killed and being proven innocent or sitting in jail for life.
We're talking about two separate things.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what's nice about my policy is you don't have to worry about it. Because once it's done, it's done. We're not going to cry about it.
No looking back.
No
it's
looking
just,
back. Oh, wrong guy.
Oh, well.
We'll improve. We'll improve.
Oh, well.
We'll be the Dalai Lama. We'll do better next time.
Okay, well, back to this story.
6 pounds though is a lot of
It
cocaine.
is a lot of cocaine. Her name's Manuela Victoria Farias, and she was visiting the island to see the Buddhist temples. So maybe there is some connection to the last story here.
So she's doing blow and going
Well,
to the temple.
No, she was taking a spiritual approach after her mother's illness, that she just suffered a stroke, and so she, I guess, was trying to get in touch with her spiritual side, and she was visiting.
With 6 pounds of cocaine.
Sounds like she's trying to
But
make
she
some money,
claims that a gang promised to pay for surf lessons and suggested they would pray for her mom if you carried on this 6.5 pound brick of coke.
Because I mean
too.
that's
So they offered prayers for her carrying 6.5 pounds of coke.
That's what the story
Is
do
this-
say right here. Yeah.
Is this like one of
Interesting.
those Craigslist things where you're trying to sell flowers?
No, I don't think it's related at all.
You ever heard of that?
No, I have no idea what you're talking
So that's
about.
like how they did the prostitution on the Craigslist. Is like you'd be selling a bouquet of flowers.
Oh no, I think this was an actual break of code.
So, well, no, I'm saying they're offering her prayers.
Oh well.
So that's
So-
AKA money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, maybe that was some careful wording. I don't know. But you bring up an interesting point about the shooting. It does sound archaic and it does sound like old school. But to be honest with you, I think I might choose that over like electric chair because that seems painful.
Well, you know,
or like lethal injection.
You know
that
that they
seems
don't do the electric chair anymore.
But
right?
at least the shot, boom, it's quick.
Yeah.
You know.
That electric chair, man. I wouldn't. Man,
I want to do battle to the death.
Ooh. Oh, like just like a fight with
Somebody.
Yeah.
Let's go for
And
it.
if you win, you're a free man.
Probably not, because
yeah, because we'd have some
Well, then what's the
crazy
point?
people out there.
Yeah, what's the
We'd have
point?
some crazy killers out there.
Her case follows another comparable but more fortunate tale of an Australian traveler. His name was Jeffrey Welton, and he had the same thing happen. He had relatively small amounts of
Not 6
methamphetamines. No, small amounts of methamphetamine and heroin in a condom at Bali's International Airport after flying from Vietnam, and he could also face the.
so Bali is not South America. It sounds more of Asia.
No, Bali is in Indonesia, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I think it's in Indonesia. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, you ever seen that Claire Danes movie where
She's been in one.
I think it's where she has drugs on her, and it's like it's probably in Bali or something, and she goes to jail there, and it's about her getting out of jail because it's like she didn't realize they had drugs on her.
No, but it sounds very similar. Maybe she could face the firing squad.
Bali is in the Lesser Sunda Islands of Indonesia.
Boom.
I don't even know where Indonesia
Nailed
is.
it.
It's on this earth, right?
It is.
Somewhere.
It
Somewhere.
is.
All right, good.
So sticking on this topic of drugs, I don't know if you guys saw this story as well. Cocaine hippos. Are you familiar with cocaine hippos?
No,
Apparently-
Cocaine Bear.
Yes, Cocaine Bear. On the heels of Cocaine Bear,
It was
we have
terrible.
we have cocaine hippos. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But these apparently are the descendants of Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing about this.
Yeah.
And they were illegal imported into Colombia back in the 80s. Okay, because by his demand, I think he had like 3 of them, 2
Wait.
females and 1 male, or
So there's
3
like a
females and
law
1
that's
male.
like no hippos here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can't you couldn't
There's
keep a
certain
pet
animals.
hippo.
Yeah, you can't.
Why not?
Well, I think it's because they're either protected or they could be very, very dangerous or get out of hand.
Here's a scenario
hippo.
for
What do
you with that, right? So, like, your dog breaks out of your backyard. It's like, oh, hey, I'm like chasing my dog down the street. Can anyone help? Or you put up lost dog signs or whatever. Imagine, like, hey, my lion broke out of my backyard. Like, can anybody help me catch him?
And he's on coke, so this is going to be a challenge.
Well, no. The reason I asked is, there's certain species that I forget the word, but basically they just take over.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
they're
that's
invasive.
probably a problem,
invasive.
too.
So
And that's-
hippos are invasive?
Yeah. So well,
Really?
Yeah. So
I
apparently,
would never think that.
after his death in 1993, with a shootout with authorities, by the way, the hippos were abandoned. And they were left on the estate, and they started to thrive. Okay, and they spread into other parts of nearby rivers, and now there's more than 130 of them.
Oh my God.
Right, and these are all descendants of the cocaine hippos, as they're called, from Pablo Escobar back in the 80s. Okay, well, the reason this is making news, it's your story of an escaped lion, is one of them got out and was hit by a car.
Is there a video of it?
No video. But can you imagine? It says one person died in the collision, as you can imagine, you would, hitting a
Yeah.
2,000-pound
You ever seen that video
coke
of the
hippo.
moose?
What?
You ever see the video of the moose getting hit?
No,
by a
but those
car?
things are massive.
Well,
Moose are-
they got launched. It was
Well, yeah,
it's
because,
a
I mean,
great
you're-
video. I
it's all
encourage
legs.
everyone to look it up. It's fun. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it says the vehicle occupants were unharmed, which is, well, some of them were. Some of them died, obviously. When the hippo died, and immediately after it was removed to be analyzed, the environmental authorities say.
Was it?
Apparently, this is...
How do you hit a hippo?
Well, yeah, you talk about distracted driving. How do you not see that coming?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Wouldn't
good
that be
God.
a great texting and driving PSA?
Oh,
It would.
great.
Don't text and
like,
drive
yeah.
and hit a hippo.
And like the hippo's like, ah!
Yeah, so this is on your invasive. It says native to Africa, hippos were declared invasive in Colombia last year, and environment officials say their population of about 130 could rise to 400 in 8 years. Because now it's just like an exponential thing. They just keep getting bigger and bigger.
I get that species populate, but it's like, is there certain things, especially here that
They
in
have
the States,
they have no native enemies.
like because like I think it's in Florida, some type of snake is taken over, and basically it was like because they brought it from some other country.
Right, and that's why it's illegal, because you can't. Certain animals live in certain areas, and sort of the larger
Like
order
the
of
hogs,
things
like
keep
pigs
things in
are
order.
bad.
Yeah.
But if you move an animal in,
what do hippos eat?
I don't know.
I think they're.
I know-
I want to say they're mostly herbivores, but I believe they like.
I know they can be really mean.
They,
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
he? Am I mistaken by this? But didn't he like feed the hippos like people? Like didn't?
Oh, maybe that reminds
Didn't
me
he,
of
like-
the movie Snatch, where he fed all the people to the pigs. 'Cause they
Yeah.
ate everything, bones and nails and everything.
I'm curious to know
I
if he
imagine hippos
maybe-
might do the same thing.
Yeah, if he fed people.
They're
to
just
the
big
hippos,
pigs.
'cause I've seen videos of hippos like squashing a watermelon with like no effort, or pumpkins in their mouth, and it's just like you just think about your head just done.
Oh, yeah, they're
2
massive.
seconds, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, they look like they're very docile.
So we
but-
should kill them.
Well, no, we shouldn't kill them. We need to regulate where they live. You know.
So what's Colombia gonna do? Are they just gonna go there and just popping heads?
You get a hippo hunting license.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do about it. But they're going to try and control them, obviously, because if they're anticipating 400 of them in the next 8 years, and at 100 they're already becoming a problem with crossing streets, it's going to be an issue.
And you don't think about like 400 being a lot, really, but when you think about their size, like they're
Yeah.
huge.
Massive.
Well, also
400
Colombia is not
huge
very big
hippos,
either.
like-
Right.
Yeah, that's.
So I'm saying,
that's a
are
big
they just
ol'
gonna
animal.
kill them? Or
I don't think so. I think they're probably going to try and capture them somehow.
Yeah, they'll probably move
and then
them.
move them, try and move them back. I would guess. But can you
You
imagine the
know.
bidding for one of those?
just kill them.
You know, there's going to be
I
some
bet. I
rich
mean, honestly, I wonder
billionaire.
if they taste good. Honestly, like you never know. Like we're talking about killing them. Maybe we could like cook them up too, and like feed a village or something.
Yeah.
Like
Oh man.
I kind of want to do a Jaws kind of thing and blow them up.
Yeah, yeah, with the what was that? That was like a
Propane
Yeah, the
tank.
propane tank. Yeah,
sounds like a good movie in the works right here.
Not
Yeah.
not cocaine.
yeah,
bear.
the cocaine bear. Yeah, that's nuts. I actually heard
Part
it was
2.
a fairly decent
It was terrible.
movie. Not
Yeah.
like gonna win any awards.
They literally
but it
have
was
children doing
entertaining.
cocaine in it.
What? No
Really?
way. No
yeah,
way.
it blew my mind. I was like, are these?
Did they like actually do the cocaine, or was it like
No, there's a
poofed
scene
into their face or something?
I couldn't believe this was on screen. There's a scene where the whole idea is that these drug dealers dropped a bunch of coke in the forest, and these kids who skip school. I'm talking about like 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like not teenagers, like 12, like below 12. They find it and they think it's like sugar, and they literally
Oh no.
and they were like, oh, that's drugs, and they're like, oh, I'm so cool, I do drugs, and he like licks it. I was like, this is like a 12-year-old licking cocaine.
This is in the movie.
Yes, and
Oh,
then
I
they
didn't
try to
know that.
then they try to
Wow.
play on a joke where like he's hungry because he's on coke. I guess I don't know. It was really weird.
It seems like one of those movies that's like supposed to be like bad, that it's so bad that it's funny.
Yeah, no,
But,
it is. It's
yeah.
like what is it? Snakes on a
terrible.
plane kind
Yeah,
of thing.
Not that. It's terrible.
Yeah, no, but I actually heard this one was, again, I haven't seen it, was entertaining if nothing else. I don't know.
Well, movie recommendation of the day is not to see Cocaine Bear. 'Cause-
Oh man.
but it's sucking tongue though.
So I think these last couple stories are fairly appropriate for us sitting here with Matthew Black from Ingenious Brewing and drinking a nice
Yeah.
IPA.
Which one is this? This is like fruit.
So this is the Smarty Bramble. It is a fruited sour with blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, and boysenberry. 7% as well, which is pretty nice. I
Yeah.
like the higher ABV fruit beers. And it's a Berliner Weiss, so it's a wheat beer, and
That's
then we
good.
add a lot of fruit to it, so it becomes
Probably better
something
than what you're
completely
drinking.
I don't know that it's a competition, Dick.
Oh.
But anyways.
Well, we got to start somewhere.
Well, we got a couple of alcohol-related stories here I thought was appropriate considering our guest. Have you heard of these Borgs? This took over social media a couple months ago. I've actually heard
Talking about Star
these.
Trek.
Right, that's the first thing I think of is the Borg. Wasn't that a vehicle or something like that? What was that?
It was a species.
Species?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't watch Star Trek in case you couldn't tell. No, but this stands for Blackout Rage Gallon.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you can imagine with a name like that where I'm going. Apparently, this consists of students taking a gallon jug of water and emptying a little bit of it out to their desired amount, adding some sort of alcohol, and then flavoring like the Mio drops or some sort of enhanced, flavoring, and then just drinking those bad boys. What could go wrong?
They like top it with a Tide Pod garnish or something.
You know what's funny? I was thinking,
Crazy. And of course, they
Wasn't
put this
there-
stuff on TikTok. And,
wasn't there like a
God.
milk challenge like that?
Milk? Oh, that's terrible. That
Oh,
sounds
we have to
horrible.
drink the whole gallon of milk.
Yeah,
Oh,
wasn't that a thing? That was a thing, right?
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
gross.
Oh, man.
Whatever.
That's just immediately throwing up.
Well, no, I think that was like I remember that being a thing. Like where people were like, "Oh, if you drink a whole gallon of milk in a day or something, like you can't do it. Like your body can't."
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sure you can't. Your body can't digest it or process it in enough.
So these
time or
guys,
something.
you're
Yeah.
telling me kids in college are drinking?
Drinking these rage gallons, and of course they call it blackout gallons because of the
yeah,
amount of
I
alcohol
bet.
they have in them. Because it's not like it's regulated. They can just pour however much they want in there, and it's flavors you can't quite tell. And of course, it's sending kids to the hospital, with alcohol poisoning and blah blah blah, and it's
Yeah.
all over. These kids are so dumb. But like you said,
I've seen a lot
garnish.
of stupid things like that. I was in a fraternity for a little bit in college, and we used to make this stuff called trash can punch, and we
Yeah.
would take. I mean, most people
That's what I'm saying.
have
This
had it, right?
isn't really unique.
And
the story is not
well,
very.
some people we also would do this thing called slapping the bag. And
Yeah.
have you ever heard beatbox before? Like the beatbox boxed wines? I
Yeah.
mean, or regular boxed wine.
I've
but
heard slap the
We
bag.
preferred we preferred the beatbox because it was a little bit fruitier. It wasn't like a wine. It was more like a cocktail like kind of
Sangria.
thing. Like something similar, or like a wine cooler, I guess you would say. And basically, you would come up. You would slap the bag, and then you would pull on it and see how long you could go, basically, while drinking from the bag. So it's just like college kids are just looking for anything to
That's what I'm saying.
black
This,
out
is,
and get
this
drunk.
isn't unique at all.
No, it's unique
Oh.
in that I think kids, because it's new, it's in a gallon, and they gave it a cute little name. And I think the idea here is, yes, the trash can punch has been around forever.
Right.
You have a glass or two. This is, you got to finish the gallon.
that's where it gets
And that's where it gets bad. It's, can you finish the gallon? It says the standard serving of
Okay, now I get
40% or
you.
80
Yeah.
proof vodka is 1.5 ounces, but that these things can represent about
I believe
43 servings of alcohol per container. So if you think about 43%,
No, if you're
or
reading,
43 servings,
hey Andrew, you're reading the news,
I
and they
am.
always
Yes,
they
this is-
always over.
This is
I don't believe it, though.
CBS News.
They
so
always
yeah.
overdo it. It's kind of like when they do the drug bust. It's like, oh man, we got $5 billion worth of drug. Yeah, maybe on like a good Tuesday.
But also the problem is you're combining it with massive amounts of caffeine, and in some cases you're putting 1,000
So-
milligrams or more of
Wait,
caffeine
so the
in these
Mio,
things.
the Mio has caffeine in it?
Oh yeah. It's very, very strong. You're supposed to
Andrew-
put like a squirt or two,
Andrew-
and they're
I didn't
just
know Mio had
Andrew.
caffeine in it.
yeah.
Where's the recipe? I want to try.
It's on
this.
Pinterest.
Yeah,
You'll have to look
And
it up.
I heard
Right.
Ingenious Brewing Company is doing a gallon challenge.
No, they are not. No, unsanctioned event. Unsanctioned event. Yeah, so these things have 1,000 milligrams
I'm
of,
gonna
of
look
caffeine,
this up now. I'm gonna.
which is about 10 cups of coffee. So you've got 43 servings of
Lord.
alcohol and about 10 times or 10 cups of coffee all combined in one. That's what the problem
Yeah,
is.
you're asking for a heart condition.
Attack or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All the studies that have been coming out about the the monsters and especially Bang, they were in the heat recently because I think they got sued by
I love that
Monster.
name.
Really?
I love
Yeah,
that
I'm pretty
name.
sure.
Bang.
So Bang, I'm pretty sure was
thought it was
sued
Bomb.
by Monster. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they were sued by Monster because they were trying to promote Bang as being a more healthy
Safer,
workout drink,
yeah.
and it wasn't.
I don't think any of them really are.
Yeah, and so they were promoting it as oh, this is great for people going to the gym. You can get a pump in, and
Right.
Monster was like, well, I mean, you're basically like taking our sales away when your product's basically the same as ours. It's
Sure.
no better for people.
Yeah, you're just marketing
Yeah.
it different. I see this new one now at the store all the time, Celsius, and it seems like it's
They're actually pretty good.
okay. I haven't tried one, but
good.
it seems like they're trying that health kind of angle too.
They use a lot of like natural vitamins,
ingredients.
like B12 and things like that. Vitamin
Yeah.
B6 and I believe it does have a little bit of caffeine, but it's from tea. I want to say is the caffeine comes from.
Okay, so I think tea is supposed to be a little bit of healthier caffeine.
Yeah, like a green tea kind of
Yeah.
energy.
Interesting. No, I haven't tried one. But are you looking up the ingredients?
Try
over
the
there?
strawberry kiwi.
Kinda.
Celsius.
Sorry,
Kinda. Oh,
sorry, I
boy.
went
What
quiet.
yeah, no. I
Well,
was
it's just
wondering.
the Borg name is there's.
Well,
I mean, I'm finding a lot of weird stuff. Yeah.
that's all right. Well, maybe we'll come back next show with a
With our own Borgs?
Yes. No. Yeah. With an audience of one Borg recipe, smorgasbord.
No, this is gonna sound silly. The research I did, it literally is exactly how you described. They just take a gallon jug of water, pour, but like whatever you want out, put your hard liquor in there, and flavor it like liquid IV. They
man.
said that was a favorite. Like, but like it's water and alcohol with flavoring.
Yeah, and drink the whole thing as fast as you can. Apparently. Yeah, it's stupid.
I like it though.
All right. Well, this last story we have here, this is interesting, and maybe you can relate to this. I don't know, but this is a story about a man named Mark Mangiardo, which is a pretty sharp name. He was in his second year of teaching when someone commented that he smelled of alcohol.
We've all been there.
Guilty, right? And you're like, yeah, honey, you smell like a brewery.
Professor or high school?
High school.
Okay.
And he said he felt surprised because, well, he hadn't drank anything. And he wouldn't risk his career by drinking at work, so he was a little surprised. But over the years, he got multiple people commenting like, hey, man, you're kind of smelling like alcohol again. He thought, that's weird. So he went from teacher to basketball coach, and his career was moving along, but it was always sort of this thing that surrounded him, and he smelled like alcohol. Well, apparently he got pulled over one day and was arrested for a DWI when he hadn't been drinking. And he's like, what's going on here? And apparently he has a syndrome that's called auto brewery syndrome,
I heard about this.
and his body produces alcohol.
Yeah, it's after he eats, right?
I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm sure it has to have something. So it's
Yeah.
probably
What I
from
love
eating.
is Matt's gears are turning right now. He's like, we gotta get this guy's sweat so we can make a
Make a
we
beer.
Can make a beer.
Beer.
Give me your sweat. Suck my tongue.
Instead of the meat sweat, it's the beer sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually was arrested twice within a 6-month span for driving while intoxicated. He's like, I'm not drinking. What the heck?
Wait.
But his blood
So is he
alcohol.
drunk?
I don't think he's drunk though. I don't think he's actually getting the effects of the alcohol in that respect. It's just his body alcohol content percentage, and you can smell it through your skin or whatever. He's producing alcohol.
Yeah, I
auto
definitely heard
brewery
about this.
syndrome.
Yeah, Matt wants this body. He's like, I wanna lick that guy.
We're gonna we have our brewing tank, so we're gonna have him hooked up right next to them, just like sweat it out. We need some juice.
Man.
I like it. I mean, it's their new flavor of the month.
So no more hot dog seltzer water.
No more hot dog water. Yeah.
It's beer sweat seltzer water.
Oh, can we call it "Suck My Tongue"? I think that would be a great beer name. Suck My Tongue. Right?
Would that be an IPA or would that be a fruity beer? I don't know.
Man, that would be something. I don't know what it would be. I would have to. It would probably be something light, and you know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
put a little bit of a. I don't know how you would make that one.
that would be so weird to make a beer like taste like sweat.
There's
Yeah,
there's
it's
actually a
gross.
brewery
It's
out there
disgusting, yeah.
that recently made a beer with human teeth, and they called it the most metal beer ever, and it's like made with human teeth.
No, thank you. And I'm not sure what you mean by made with human teeth.
They just kind
Good
of like
God.
let it. I don't know. I saw it on Facebook, and it was like posted from their
That
page.
sounds fake.
From their page.
Because you can even
From their
have
page.
Man, that's crazy.
like
Wasn't
you
like-
can't have a human skull, right?
What? What do you mean you can't? Oh, you mean own one?
I got.
I don't think that you can. If you find one on your property, I think you're supposed to turn that into quote the authority.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can't just have a human skull.
Yeah, I don't think not unless you're like a
So
museum.
when you're brewing teeth,
yeah,
like,
I don't,
do you have a-
I don't even know.
do you
what
have a
that,
tooth
like, I'm gonna be honest
supplier?
with you. I don't even know what that means. Brewing teeth.
aren't teeth just iron?
I guess he said the most metal. So no, they're like not calcium.
I think it's everything, right?
You got me on that.
I don't know.
one.
I'm just getting a
wasn't-
bunch of articles
I
about
wasn't-
opening beer with your teeth.
Yeah, I
so.
wasn't prepared to answer dental questions today, but
I don't. Like when you say make a beer with something, sometimes it's just like you put it in there for a second and pull it out
And say you
know?
did it?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, especially with that, I mean, most things like we say this as blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, and boysenberry. It really does. Like we soak the fruit in
I can
there.
taste it.
But some people like for instance, going back to Martin House, the hot dog water beer, right? Like, I don't really know how long they let hot dogs sit in there with the
Just
with the
enough to
seltzer
get
water.
the flavor, though, I bet.
Yeah, that's
Is
just
it
a
weird I want
strange
James to come to Island?
thing. You're craving a hot dog now.
Yeah, I could totally go for hot dog water.
Right.
Wasn't that like Limp Bizkit album, like hot dog flavored covered chocolate starfish?
There were
Oh, there's chocolate starfish.
yeah, there's chocolate
is-
starfish for sure. I don't know
is
about
the-
hot dog
yeah.
in there, but you know,
I don't know. Yeah. I
It
know
wouldn't
chocolate
surprise me.
starfish, but
I
not
just
the hot
realized,
dog
did I
part.
say something like what is it?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. I think we're after the 55-minute mark, so we're probably okay to say that. But
What?
yeah.
No, you know, it was an album. It was like hot dog. I'm gonna look at
Well,
it.
the whole name Limp Bizkit is a whole thing. So I mean,
Yeah,
who even knows?
Wouldn't surprise me,
Yeah.
man. All right. Well, guys, that brings us to time for this week's show. We got a ton more stuff to cover, but we'll have to cover that next week as Dick is
Yeah, it's
feverishly looking
chocolate
up-
starfish and the hot dog flavored
Dang it,
water.
I was trying to end the show before we found it. Chocolate starfish and the
That's
hot
an
dog flavored
album.
water. Oh,
I
that's
knew.
sweet.
I
Okay.
remember. I was like, that's such
That's
a
the whole
weird-
name of the album.
That's the name of the album. I was like, that's
I
such
thought it
a
was just
weird.
chocolate starfish. Interesting. Okay.
All right, guys. Hey, like I said at the beginning of the show, we are now on iHeart. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube, Facebook, irlonestar.com. If you're not finding us, if you're not listening by now, it's kind of on you guys. Until next week, it's been fun. Thanks to Matt again from Ingenious Brewery. Go check them out.
Yeah.
All their
Thank you.
information
That's
will be
good
on
beer.
our show notes.
Not piss.
Not piss, everyone. All right, until next week. Bye, y'all.